So just a few weeks ago, I had actually streamed the Xbox Showcase. I was trying to stream it live on my TikTok, which wasn't set up at the time, and now is. Shameless plug. I'm going to be doing a lot of my live streams on TikTok, so if you guys want to follow me there, check me out there at Tanek027. But anyway, during the Xbox stream, I was, running back and forth, kind of busy, just had a lot of stuff going on at home that day. And I was, in and out with a lot of the trailers and everything. And I had noticed this trailer, but I didn't pay it much of any mind until I was, seeing news about this game here and there on Twitter, and Bite Sticks had actually mentioned it on one of his on one of his news posts that he made on Twitter, saying that this was an upcoming Gacha game. And not only is this a Gacha game with just a lot of potential and a lot of things going on, but it was marketed at an Xbox showcase of all things. And I think that's a really wonderful thing because let's be realistic, a lot of the Gacha games they usually give PlayStation the spotlight most of the time. And this one being marketed for Xbox and looking like the most unique one I've seen out of all the gotchas, that we've got on console lately, this one has me pretty excited. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Tanek027 and welcome back to another video. And guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about Sea of Remnants. However, if you want to stay updated on all things Sea of Remnants, make sure you are liking today's video, subscribing to the channel if you're new, and let's go ahead and get on into today's topic. So here on the channel, it's no secret, I've been a pretty hardcore Xbox guy, off and on and stuff like that since the Xbox One generation. I'd actually really believed in Phil Spencer's, vision and all that stuff. So my apologies for all the glazing and everything like that. But Sea of Remnants is actually going to be coming to, I believe, PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox, and I think even mobile. I could be wrong about that. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's going to be a mobile gacha game as well. And this one's being developed by NetEase. They've also done Where Winds Meet and Marvel Rivals. They've been on a pretty successful path with games lately. They haven't always had the best reputation, with some of the games they've made, but they've been on, a pretty fire streak lately. I believe they also did the Rock Up Blade Point as well, which was, a pretty solid battle royale and just, overall PvP action game. One thing we can say about NetEase is they do fun combat and smooth gameplay. If you've played Rivals, Where Winds Meet, or even the Rock Up Blade Point, you'll know that about their games easily. Well, Sea of Remnants is a open world gacha RPG that pretty much looks like, I would say, Sea of Thieves meets Honkai Star Rail. But the most unique thing that stands out to me about this game more than anything is the puppet-like art style. Now, the whole puppet thing, you guys know I love the Lies of P, so that's no secret to anybody or anything. That definitely intrigued me right out of the gate. But there was another unique feature I noticed with this game too, right off the back. Your main character that you play, you actually get to customize that character instead of just picking a male or female variant that's set into the game. You actually get to build your own character and do the whole role playing thing of an RPG. Now, from what I can see, this is just a single player game. There aren't really any multiplayer elements to it, but as you guys know, it's going to be a gacha game. This live service. That those kind of things can change all the time. Some of these games they start out with just single player elements. They add multiplayer stuff later on, stuff like that. Like Zenless Zone Zero, for example. It has very light multiplayer elements, but they ended up adding a whole dungeon kind of event and stuff like that to Zenless a while back. You guys have seen the multiplayer videos that I've made on Zenless Zone Zero. But this game looks really fascinating and really cool. And like I said, the fact that it was marketed with Xbox was just more of a turn on because, like I said, out of all the gacha games we see, it's usually the same typical thing. And no disrespect to them because I love a lot of the gacha games we have now. But, they're anime games with, action combat, same typical thing, swapping in and out between the characters and combat and stuff like that, and yada, yada, yada. This is a more so, open world, explore, story, hardcore on the story, sea exploration turn-based game. This seems like a really deep RPG, and I'm liking what I am seeing so far. By the way, they also got 32 million pre-registrations already, which is insane. But the gameplay goes to say, sorry, I was getting off topic. Sail across mysterious seas, recruit trusted companions, face powerful enemies, and build your own legend on the open water. Set sail. This sea has room for every ambition and every dream. Roam freely across open waters, explore every island on the horizon, and bring your hard-earned treasure back to Orbtopia and spend it as you please. Now, I'm guessing, like I said, there's that Sea of Thieves kind of loop in there. I'm not sure how it all works. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play in, the alpha and stuff like that. I've been watching gameplay videos, from other creators who got to test it out and other players that got to check the game out. It just looks really fun. Like when I look at it, the turn-based combat makes me think, something more along the lines of Honkai Star Rail, that being a turn-based gacha game. And then obviously, the open sea exploration and all the different activities you can do. Like there's different, like games and stuff like that. I'm talking, all kinds of crazy different, like side things and activities and NPC interactions, stuff like that. And obviously, from the Pirates style standpoint, it reminded me a lot of Sea of Thieves, which is, why I came to the conclusion of Honkai Star Rail meets Sea of Thieves, with a nice puppet aesthetic to it. But like I said, the art style was the main thing that turned me on. Just some of the trailers and the way that they're marketing this game. They're just going for a completely different tone than your typical gacha game. And guys, that's just it's really exciting to me. They're showing from every aspect, all the way down to the Xbox marketing, the art style, the tone of the trailers, that they're just trying to do things different and not go for the same typical anime super hot waifus and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I love that stuff, but it's just something different and refreshing. So if you're looking for something different and a change of pace in the gacha games, Sea of Remnants definitely may be something you'll want to check out. I'll leave a link down in the video description below where you guys can pre-register and learn more about the game for yourselves. Let me know what you're thinking down in the comments below. Are you excited for Sea of Remnants? Let me know. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out. Have a good one.